Pilo, there's nothing like waking up after a big win and just catching strays on Twitter. And not even and just I don't know. For those of you that don't know, there's a guy out there, and I don't even really want to say his name. I don't guess, but he's convinced that I have a burner account and was calling him names, and I don't even know. I'm not positive how to prove that I'm not it. Outside of getting my telephone and like showing it to the world, like, hey, look, it's just me. It's just my icon and the To The Top Talk icon. Maybe that's the way to do it.
Maybe.
I don't know. I mean, maybe there's a workdown that I don't know.
He must not know you very well if he thinks you have multiple accounts and you're, slick. You slide between them and all this stuff. Yeah, that does not happen.
I have two things to do, and there's if I add anything else, I'm gonna pull my damn hair out. So I can't do it. I'm sorry that it happened to you. I wish you wouldn't drag my name through the mud, but here we are. But it's not me, and whoever it is, own up to it or something, or don't. I don't know. It's just from now on, I just like to wake up the next day after a big win and just be able to enjoy it instead of having to just fend off whatever, So
here we are.
Yeah. Anyway, we do have a good show lined up tonight, Pilo. So let's go ahead and get to it. Let's get to the show.
It's gonna be a good one.
Welcome to the Top Talk. Greetings and salutations, everyone, and welcome to another episode of To The Top Talk, brought to you by Yingling Flight. To The Top Talk is the original and longest-running Southern Miss podcast in the market. We're recording this episode on
Thursday, March the 12th.
From beautiful Hattiesburg, Mississippi. Here, as always, with your break from the High Resource 4 propaganda to talk a little Southern Miss athletics. I'm your host, Jason Bailey. That guy right there is the one and only Patrick Lowry.
Hey.
You feeling better?
I'm alive.
I'm glad you're here. We had to push it till tonight, and luckily our guest was like, "That's cool."
So. Yeah, I mean, when you have the beginning of the week, and you're like, "All right, Ole Miss at the Pete Tuesday night, and a golf tournament on Thursday. What a week!" And then I get some kind of stomach bug. I mean, completely wipes me out. Today is the first day I have felt human again, so here we are. But missed out on both, but I did get to watch Baker and the boys, and it was awesome. What a win, and ready to get into it.
Fantastic. I see Buddy the dog lurking. He's just standing at the back door.
Waving to bark.
I don't know if you can hear his collar rattling, but it's going to happen all night long. There is a giveaway that we are part of, Pilo, and you can explain that way better than I can. So why don't you jump on that? As far as creating our subscription-ship on, increasing our subscribers. Throw it up here
on the screen because we're fancy now. But yeah, if you go over to goldenstandard.shop, check out all the new merch. Oh, look at that! Go stay golden. All the new stuff out there. But at the top of that page, they have a really awesome button just to click and subscribe to our YouTube channel. We're
look at that.
partnering with them on different milestones on the road kind of to 1,000 subscribers. And so if you guys would just go over to YouTube and subscribe, you would be eligible for a giveaway. So there's 3 different ones happening at 500, 750, and 1,000, and they progressively get better. Check it out, check them out, and go subscribe.
Very good. Tonight's episode is, of course, brought to you by Yingling Flight. Yingling Flight is a premium light beer brewed by DG Yingling and Son Incorporated, the oldest brewery in America. 95 calories, only 2.6 grams of carbs, 4.2% ABV per 12-ounce serving. Crisp, clean, refreshing taste. Now available in 12-ounce slim cans and screw-top 16-ounce pints. Pick yourself up some Yingling Flight today, especially if you're heading to Jonesboro. Because if you remember correctly, when we had Kara Ritchie on from Arkansas State, she told us that it is a dry county.
Oh, yeah.
You can get beer inside the stadium, and I'm assuming inside the baseball park. but you cannot buy it at the gas station, I guess. Is that how that works?
Yeah, you got to bootleg it.
Mm.
Cross state lines.
That's
What a time to be alive.
Yeah. Interesting. So anyway, what happened since the last time we recorded? Well, baseball rolled through North Alabama and took down the Rebels. Beach volleyball was out in Arizona taking on some nationally ranked teams, and we'll get into a little bit of how they did. Softball's on a tear as of late. They've won 11 of their last 13.
Hey now.
Women's and men's basketball seasons came to an end in Pensacola. The men really made an incredible run. Say what you want to, I think there's some people glad that they finished, but man, 2 games away from the dance, right?
Yeah.
Only team in the state of Mississippi with a winning record. I think that's all I can say, before I get blasted by another burner.
That's
Anyway,
right.
something else that we did was we booked a fantastic guest. You might know this guy's, I don't know, you might not know this guy's face, but you definitely know his work. If you've ever listened or watched a broadcast involving USM Athletics, he's more than likely been a part of that, at least a part of that production team. He's a statistician like no other. He's a great Golden Eagle. He's a great human being. He's our friend. He is the one and only Mr. Marty Windham.
Hey, welcome.
Glad to be here.
Marty. So I'm guessing you're on the other side of these interviews quite a bit, but what's it like being on this side of the interview?
I'd be lying if I say I wasn't a little nervous to begin with, but hey, you got to do everything once. You don't know how you like it until you try it.
This is you do have to step out of your comfort zone sometimes. That's a very good way to look at it. Well, this is about the easiest way you're ever going to do it, I think, on this show. This is
For sure.
especially with him hanging around Baker and John Cox and all these guys all the time. He's gonna be like, I can't believe these guys are allowed to do this. But first off, Marty, how are you? And just how fun is it to be a part of those ESPN Plus broadcasts, specifically the baseball ones?
I mean, it's the best seat in the house to start with. I'm right there in the press box behind Baker and Cliff and Kirtland, and you get to hear things up there, them announcing stuff that I feel like I have some good stats, but some of the things they come up with, I mean, especially Bacon, Cliff, Kirtland, I mean, they do their homework. I mean, sometimes I'm sitting here hearing the stories they're telling, and I'm a little bit blown away by it. So I mean, it's not like they're just showing up game day and hey, let's announce. I mean, they're putting in time and effort just like the players and coaches are.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, and Pilo used to be in that world a little bit too, as far as down on the sidelines with photographs and whatnot. So Pilo, you might be able to go a little bit further with this, but yeah.
No, I mean, yeah, for sure. It's a thrill. It's a rush. I mean, everybody. It's a grind. I think, like Marty said, those guys put in work, and that's work people don't see. You think you just get on the camera and can start rattling off all that stuff, and there's a lot of prep work that happens in the background, and it's impressive, and I think you see it when we go on the road and you watch other productions, and you're kind of like, man, like nobody quite does it like our squad does, and so. It's pretty impressive.
Hey, Marty, who handles the cameras for baseball?
There's about Lee Field that does the producer director. He's got about, I'm guessing probably about 10 to 12 guys, and they kind of rotate. So it's really not the same crew every game. I mean, there's I can't even try to name them all off, but let's say there's about 10 to 12 of them that do it. I mean, there's some of them that do UFC events. So I mean, it's not like some schools where it's just like a student-led broadcast. I mean, these are, I would call them professionals. I mean, that's their job, their livelihood is independent contractors, and they come in to work the games, whether it be baseball, football, softball, soccer, volleyball, you name it.
Because a couple of them got some run with some fly ball outs that went to the warning track. I saw it retweeted by, I think, Kendall Rogers with D1 Baseball, and they were like, I thought that ball was going to Saturn. And I went and watched it, and I'm like, yeah, but they followed it. I mean, they didn't lose it. They followed it the whole way, and then it came down. I liked it a little bit better. I don't know. How about you, Pilo?
I even saw some of the comments where, I can't remember who it was in the comments, but somebody said, find that cameraman a golf course, let him follow the golf balls.
There you go.
Absolutely. Yeah. That Camo's home run, that that was impressive. I mean, getting that off the bat and following it is not easy. It was impressive, but those ones late in the game, I mean, like I said in the opener, I was watching it. They kind of got me really excited because it was a little aggressive with following it up, but that was great.
I see that on Twitter. I mean, because I don't know if most people know, but all the broadcasts about Lee Field, they're directed out of the Coliseum, whether it be football, baseball, softball, soccer. Everything is broadcast from the Coliseum as far as like the production. And yeah, so I got back over to the Coliseum after the game, and a couple of the camera guys were there, and they were looking at Twitter, and they saw those comments, and of course they were having a good time laughing about it. But at the end of the day, they did a great job. Like you said, they followed the ball instead of the ball's hit the right field and the camera's in left field.
Yeah, that's impressive. I mean, not to be on site. Honestly, I remember when I was working in athletics, we went and did a kind of a site visit to the University of Alabama and looked at their facilities, and they actually do the same thing inside their football, I guess, offices. They have a full studio in there. They produce all the baseball, all the basketball, everything is from that one, spot. So it's pretty impressive for sure.
Hey Marty, that victory over Ole Miss a couple nights ago. Take us through your vantage point of how that game went and that final gapper that was off the bat of Tucker Stockman. What was all that like from the booth?
We get a little excited. I mean, you're supposed to. That's one of the main things with ESPN Plus is keep it neutral as possible. But I mean, you're going to get a little more excited when it's your team doing it, because there were several plays I know. We thought it was a long going home run even for the other team, but you can't sit there and show disgust or discouragement. And you still got to, and that's what some people may not realize either. With Baker and them, I mean, if Ole Miss hits a home run, you can't sit there and go, "Oh, you're killing me." I mean, you still got to. I'm not gonna say you got to be an Ole Miss announcer, but you can't sit there and show disgust and all that. And
sure,
but so I mean, to me, that's one part I don't think people understand. I think they want kind of like me, or else. I mean, they want to be the homer and Southern Miss 100% of the time, but unfortunately, with ESPN Plus, they teach neutrality. If you're showing graphics for one team, show graphics for the other. But yeah, I agree. Kyle Morris from the one that he hit, I think it was in the, I don't know if it was the bottom of the eighth, bottom of the ninth. I mean, we got excited. We all thought it was going, and then it just dies there at the warning track. And like Bake said on the broadcast, had that ball been hit 2 hours earlier, it's out of Pete Taylor Park. No ifs, ands, and buts about it.
Sure, for
so,
sure.
I mean, it's an excitement up there. I mean, you kind of get the whole feel of the game because you can see everything. But at the same time, you're a little bit far from the action. So, like you're talking about the camera shots, those fly balls, when they first come off the bat, even the Ole Miss guy, I think it was top of the ninth with two on, either one or two on, and he hits the bomb to right center. And I'm not going to lie, as soon as he hit it, I dropped my head like, you got to be kidding me.
Same.
So,
yeah.
That's directly at us, that right center right there. He hit it, and I was like, well.
And there's several times, I mean, coming off the bat, I mean, those that go to the warning track, I mean, from our vantage point, as soon as they're hit, I mean, you think they're 450-foot shots like Dre Barrett's was that night to left center.
Oh, man.
And then all of a sudden, it depends on what the weather, humidity, all that is. I mean, it may end up being a 380-foot shot to the 400-foot part of the park.
Sure.
Absolutely. So before we get too far in, for the listeners and viewers kind of that don't know, kind of walk us through what you do on game days, and we can stick with baseball.
We'll stick with baseball. Yeah. Baseball, I get there about 2.5 hours before the game. Myself, there's a gentleman named Austin Buchanan, and Lee Field's G.A. Jackson. We get there, let's say about 2.5 hours before the game. We're building graphics. I'm getting all the player stats put in. So like I said, Jason and them come on the air. Thinking of the Ole Miss game, and we're showing the top 10 because Baker's, wanted to talk about, one team's in the top 10, the other team's not. It may not be who you think. So we've got to have that graphic built and ready. So we have templates to work with, but we have to go and actually type in the logos manually. Mm-hmm. Make sure we got the right logos because you don't want to have, Alabama's logo and Auburn's name.
Yeah.
Or, Mississippi.
That would be great.
And I've seen it happen on lots of broadcasts, and we don't want to be that broadcast. And then, so we're spending about an hour and a half building graphics for the game, getting the starting lineups put in. So when they first come, if you've ever watched the ESPN Plus broadcast, we come on the air, they got like the batting order, feature batter. So, I mean, that's one of the things me and Jason Baker, Cliff come up with, who do we want to feature for our lineup? Who do we want to feature for the other team's lineup? Do we want to use season stats? Did they have more impressive stats last week? So I mean, it's kind of when which Baker and myself, we're talking, and Cliff, we're talking throughout the week. Who do we want to feature for the next home game? It's not like we just show up, an hour before the game, like, oh, what are we going to do now? So we're constantly during the week texting back and forth, throwing around ideas. And then you got the pitcher, the defense. Who do we want to feature as a defensive highlight player today? So that's kind of what my job, getting stuff done. Lee Field, the camera people, they're there usually about 2.5, 3 hours before, getting cameras set up, because it's not just, walk over with the camcorder and set it up. I mean, they've got to go over, have stuff set up, angles set up, get in the spot before the people get there. And then an hour before the game, we have to do what's called transmission, where we get on the air with ESPN actually in Bristol, and they have to go through all the cameras. Like, here's camera 1, here's camera 2. We've got 5 cameras for baseball for most games. So they want to make sure all the cameras are working to make sure that we're putting on a positive product. Then they have to do a mic check, because how many times you're watching a game and you see the announcer, there's a deep fly ball and the ball hasn't been pitched yet. So you got to make sure all that's lined up. And that's a lot of things that, even myself, you just take for granted, and why wouldn't it work perfect? And you have to make sure all that's lined up perfectly. And so let's say we do that an hour before. Then Austin Buchanan, the guy that does the graphics, he'll get with our replay guy. They'll get all the players' names. So in case, like, player of the game, they put up, player of the game, Kyle Morrison, you see his name pop up. That's stuff that is done way beforehand, not just something you just type in on the fly. So we spend probably, I said, most games about 2 hours before the game, putting in graphics, getting cameras ready. And then once the game starts, it's game time.
Yeah.
Game's over, we got to break everything back down. So you can't just leave the cameras up in the stands and all that. We have to take all this cameras back, bring them back to the press box if there's a baseball game the next day. Like Tuesday night we had baseball, then Friday we've got softball. So we take everything back to the Coliseum. They come tomorrow night for softball versus Louisiana. You're not having to go back to baseball and pick everything up to go to softball. It's already at the Coliseum. So it's about 30, 40 minutes after the game when we're there taking up cameras and, cleaning up the press box, our area, leave it like you found it mentality.
Sure.
Hey, when did you first get involved with all? Did you go to college for this? Did you just decide one day I'm going to be the guy? How did you get involved with specifically with the production crew at Southern Miss?
Kind of backtracking a little bit. I've got a twin brother that lives in Birmingham, and kind of predating the SEC network, there was a TV station out of Birmingham called CSS that we used to be on. Southern Miss used to be on a good bit. My brother worked for them. He teaches and coaches over in Birmingham. But the school he at, a lot of the kids there, their parents worked for this CSS TV sports. That's our Conference USA days in the early 2000s. So he was working for them. But then I was working for Southern Miss, left there in 2012, and they were coming back doing games. And it's like, hey, you want to come work the game with me? So that's kind of how I initially got started in it. And I started off doing, as I call it, simple stuff, which is just the scoreboard and on the TV screen. So, you're watching the game, you put the down distance, touchdown, you pop up how many points for the touchdown, the field goal. So that's how I got started with it. And then in 2020, I was working the high school state championships, and Lee Field saw me at the game working and comes up, starts talking to me, asking me, this and that, certain questions, and didn't realize at the time he thought I was my twin brother, not me. He was offering my twin brother a job, I think. But then when I explained to him, no, I'm Marty, I live here, he goes, I knew he had a twin brother. He says, hey, would you want to help out with us? So that's how I actually got started doing it. So it started in 2020 at the high school football state championships, and I started that January of 2020, and then of course COVID hits. I'm like, well, that was short-lived. Thinking, that was it. But then, we start back up the fall of 2020, and it's like, yes, I still want you back. We need your help, and I guess the rest is history, as they say.
Cool,
for sure.
Very
That's
cool.
Awesome.
Yeah.
So you're what Jason and I call the king of coming up with unique and interesting stats. And how does that come about, and kind of what's your process through that?
I'm usually, like I said, I'll watch ESPN Plus broadcasts of other games. Like I said, if we're on the road with the game, I'll watch that to kind of get their perspective of things, and watch Major League broadcasts, other college broadcasts, just to see things they come up with, stats, graphics. So I know back during the regionals, I think it was last year, working with a guy out of New Orleans who's done quite a bit of stuff, and some of the levels of like concepts of graphics and stats he wants to keep up with the entire game because one of their big things during the regionals was runners in scoring position. And a lot of times I'll look at it here and there, but working with him last year, or 2 years ago, just for baseball only, some of the more specific stats, because to me, it's some of the stats I look at and I'm like, but then you hear them talking about, runners in scoring position. And, you look at the Tuesday night game against Ole Miss, we had one hit with 2 outs, one hit with runners in scoring position, and that was the game-winning hit. So things like that, I don't really think about until you look at it in that perspective. So it makes you try to dig deeper in the stats. And during the week, I'm like, even right now, before I got on with you guys, I was getting ready for softball tomorrow night, and I'm on the NCAA website looking at national rankings to see, how I can put Southern Miss in a positive light.
Right.
Softball this weekend. And, we've got several stats, like for softball, we're in the top 10, top 15 in the country. So, I want to make sure tomorrow night for softball, Clay Sweet, I'm not sure if you guys know him, but it's softball games. Some of you, I'm trying to find stats for him, like national stats that put Southern Miss in the best spotlight.
And Clay sat in with Bake a few games ago, right?
Correct. Friday and Saturday, and then Clay filled in for John on Sunday because Lee Roberts was out of town.
Okay, cool. Yeah, he's great. So he works down in Poplarville, right?
Correct. Picayune.
Picayune. Okay.
Gotcha. Picayune, Bakes out of Poplarville.
That's right.
Yeah, like I said, constantly, like Monday night, I'm on the NCAA website trying to find, and to be fair, like I said, talking about not showing favoritism, I'm trying to find stuff for both teams to make it the best possible, stat or matchup as I can give to Bake and them so they can do more, announcing and player stuff where I try to come up, as I call them, the stupid nerd stats.
Love that.
And I'm biased. I think Pilo's biased too here, but it seems like we've kind of talked about it already, but our ESPN Plus broadcasts are just second to none. Like Bake's a big part of that. You're a big part of that. Russell's, Kurt's a big part of that. But what makes this crew so good, in your opinion? Is it just that you mentioned like the UFC camera guys and all that? Is it just that we have more experience? Do we care more? Do we have better instruments? What makes us better?
I think all of the above, what you just said, the people that Lee Field has trusted, to put on the broadcast with him, and not picking on student broadcasts. I know every school is different, but the school in Mobile, they, I've heard them multiple times talked about, it's a student broadcast. I've been to games down there. So you may have, John one week and Bill the next week and Fred the next week. And so it's never the same person where you can't build consistency where, for us, baseball, we have probably, I'm guesstimating about 35 home games a year. And probably be willing to say that 25 of those, probably it's the same person at the same camera, every game. So they're building consistency. They know what to expect. They know what, hey, for runners on first base, I've got the base runner. For runners on third base camera, you've got the base runner instead of, the ball's hit and then you got 4 people following the ball and nobody following the base runner. So, I think that's a big part of it. Consistency. And like Cliff played here, he knows baseball. It's not like you've got, again, student-led where, and I still go back to this, one of my all-time favorite student-led broadcast, and this was back in the Conference USA days, was I remember my wife and I were driving down to the coast to eat buffet at the casinos one night, listening to Southern Miss play at Western Kentucky, and the Western Kentucky announcer, we hit a ball to the warning track, whatever, and what promise true story here, the Western Kentucky announcer's like, well, the ball's hit out there to the running track. That's where the players out there warming up. Good thing there wasn't anybody out there warming up during the game.
Oh, my.
Yeah, no, there would not be anybody out there.
Yikes.
Again, that's kind of what, in my opinion, again, I know everybody's different, but I'm like, surely I know, Bacon them wouldn't make that mistake. But
yeah.
There's
no
point
doubt.
Said, hits the ball to the running track. Good thing there's nobody out there warming up.
Wow.
And I'm like, how do they? But again, everybody has their own quirks and this and that. So,
yeah, maybe it is a running track in Kentucky. Yeah. I don't know. I don't think so.
But,
yeah.
That's amazing. Marty, what's more fun, to do as far as your role? Is it baseball, football, basketball, softball? What do you think?
Mine personally, I've played baseball my whole life growing up, so I've always loved baseball. I can remember as a kid coming to baseball games down here as a kid, coming to baseball camps in the summer. And Hill Benson was the coach at the time. I'm from Bay Springs. He was from Bay Springs. So he always kind of took me and my twin brother under his wing when we came to baseball camp. So I can still remember as a kid thinking, this is back when I was 4th, 5th, 6th grade, whatever, high school, thinking, how awesome would it be to be able to come to every game, watch every game, when I grow up, that's what I want to do. And so in a way, that's what I'm really getting to do, just, getting into the games free and not having to pay to get in the games and getting paid to work the games and, sitting in with the broadcast, being a part of it. So it's kind of a dream come true, actually. I have a bucket list.
Is there a Southern Miss sports memory or moment that you were lucky enough to witness from the production side that kind of stands out to you? I mean, there's probably been a million of them, but I'm thinking if I were you, I'd probably have a top 5 like locked and loaded. So is there a moment or a time that you can remember where it was just awesome?
In the last, because I've been doing this since 2020, so probably going back the last 5 years. Probably the first one that I was a part of, or the most favorite one, would have to be the LSU Game 7 regional, which actually I was working that one for ESPN, the actual ESPN, not USM, but I'm still working it with ESPN because when they come into town, I usually work with them, whether it be football, basketball, baseball. They hire, independent contractors like I'm talking about the camera crew. So I'm working it for ESPN, but that's probably by far my most favorite one was winning that game. Probably one of the more interesting ones I had was first year, and again, I hate to say it's not a ESPN Plus one, but it's actually ESPN. I'm working the game. We're playing Florida Atlantic, the last game of the year, Thursday game. We started at 4:00, I think, and the announcers are actually in New Jersey. I'm in the press box on my laptop on a Zoom call, and I've got a grease board in my hand writing stats on a grease board, holding it up in front of the camera like this. So and I've got like a piece of paper like with 1 through 100 on it, and like it's like one across the top, 1 through 10, 11 through 20, all the way down. And if it's a 60-yard play, I'm having to hold a piece of paper up like just pointing to the 60 so the announcer can look at me and go, "That was a 60-yard touchdown pass."
Oh my gosh!
And then that's like
That's wild.
a CD sleeve cover. I had a yellow CD sleeve cover, so if there was a flag, I had to wave the sleeve in front of the camera so the person doing the scoreboard would know to put flag up on the scoreboard. That was definitely one of the more unique ones. Beating and then going back, memorable ones. Louisiana and basketball, the year that we sold out, won the conference. I mean, that one. Granted, that year it was myself, Larry Boyd and Lee Roberts were announcing it, and we were up in the basketball suite, so we weren't courtside. So we weren't like down there courtside, but still, I mean, just being in the Coliseum that night for that atmosphere, that big of a win, was phenomenal.
Yeah.
Trying to think of some other ones that maybe jump out. I think women's basketball this year. I mean, some of the games they had there early this year, when they couldn't miss on 3-pointers, you're just sitting there, like, they've got to miss eventually, and they would prove you wrong over and over and just would not miss. I've enjoyed, this year watching softball. I mean, like y'all mentioned earlier, the great start they're off to. I mean, I'm excited about tomorrow night. I mean, since we joined the Sun Belt, we've never beaten Louisiana in softball. So hopefully that ends this weekend.
There you go. If it does, then it's karma straight from the show.
You better believe that's the graphic we have ready to go as soon as the game's over.
Absolutely. So I'm going to throw this out there. Have you ever given out a stat and then immediately realized, whoops, maybe that wasn't right?
Yeah. This year, actually baseball, first game of the year this year, I gave one to Bake, and a friend of mine, Ben Mile, I don't know if you guys know him, but Ben had texted me because I've worked with him this past year with soccer, a couple of games. He came down from Nashville, did a couple of games broadcasting soccer for us. So we became good friends, and he texted me during the game. He says, and we were talking about Santa Barbara's pitcher, Flora, and he goes, "Hey, don't know if you know this, but with him starting tonight on a Friday, he's now started a game every day of the week throughout his career." And I'm like, that's interesting. Well, I always give note cards to Baker because some things, I can't just explain to him. So I write everything on note cards, hand it to him and Cliff. Well, I hand it to him, and I forgot to write the player's name on it. And he looks at it the next half inning when Colby Allen's pitching. And he looks at it, and he questions me a couple times, "Are you sure this is right?" And I'm like, yeah. You know, that's the floor the whole time. Never crossed my mind. He's thinking Colby Allen because Colby's on the now when he looks at it. And then Baker goes, well, I've debated whether to read this, but, Marty gives it to me, so it's got to be right. And he reads it. As soon as he says Colby Allen, it's like a nightmare in slow motion. Oh, the other picture.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, that's tough.
But yeah, and I thought that on myself because, I always try to write, Southern Miss, Louisiana, whoever the team is, and for whatever reason on that card, just never thought to write the name on it or the player. I just
That's awesome.
assumed, and like I said, as soon as it happened, I'm like, please call me out on it. That was my fault, 100%. And Baker's too good of a guy; he's 100% professional. He goes, no, he says we're good.
Yeah, and
if we read it, I'm like, just screaming, no, the other picture.
And so Pilo, I know you've been up there. So a lot of times we'll bring food up to the crew, and Marty's good enough to let us just sit there because sometimes we try to time it to where we're going to go up the elevator and we get there and the third out's happened and it's in the middle of the inning. And there's other times where we start walking and before we get around, there's like 3 quick outs and before the inning started. So we're just hanging out in the hallway, right? Well, we started knocking on the door and Marty lets us come in. So I see you kind of with the headphones and talking to Bake while he's doing the show, and then you do hand those cards over and it's very interesting for me just to see you guys operate. And it's almost like, the left hand knows what the right hand's talking, there's a system that you have that I don't know if you can just jump in there with anybody. You guys do a great job and I appreciate you letting us come in from time to time and just
We appreciate the food for sure.
Yeah, be a part of it. So what is it though, Marty? Getting back to the Southern Miss part of this, what is it about this place that makes it special to you? You mentioned that you couldn't wait to just be able to watch all the games. That was kind of your dream. And you're getting to do even more than that now. But is it like this everywhere in your opinion, or the Southern Miss, is there just something else to it?
I think again, some of the things y'all hit on. We've had consistency. And I'm trying to hit on several things here because thinking back, because with the ESPN Plus, I worked with volleyball, soccer, men's and women's basketball. I know I just skip sports, but anyway, of all the sports we deal with, and I think it's the consistency because since I started in 2020, just kind of hitting sports, it's always been Baker with football. We've had a different couple color analysts, but it's always been Baker. So we've got that consistency. Basketball, it's been Lee and Larry since I first started here in 2020. It's always been those two. They may miss a game here or there and somebody fills in, but 90%, 99% of the time it's going to be those two announcing. So you've kind of got a system in place. Baseball, it's always been Baker. We had Cliff has been there. I think most of the time I've been there. Chris Kirtland's been there for I think the last 3 years maybe. And then softball, Baker was a year or two, then Clay's done the last couple of years. So to me, that's what kind of the consistency because, they know the players, they know the team. It's not like you're bringing in a different announcer every week who doesn't know the team. And they're just sitting there kind of, just reading monotone the whole time with no backstories, no history. So I think that, Jason, Lee, Roberts, they can hit on Southern Miss history and they're, have a lot of history with the program. They know what I wouldn't say they know what they're talking about from that aspect, but from sports, but they know Southern Miss.
Sure. No doubt. What's good. And we sure enjoy it for sure.
I said, you watch some of these other broadcasts and I watched a softball one a couple of weeks back and, they're sitting there and talking about the home team and like they never give any history about the player. It's just like, a play-by-play guy staring at the monitor the whole time and never looks down to get any information on the player. So, and I think it turns into more of a tradition, like I said, the baseball sign tradition of excellence because, you've got the same guys, they're familiar with it. They love Southern Miss and, they want to see Southern Miss succeed just like we do.
Absolutely. So, if a listener or a viewer out there that is watching this and maybe I know and I've actually met some of the students at the Pete this year that watch this broadcast and watch our show and maybe they're thinking about this line of work or maybe they're somebody went through journalism or mass comm or something like that and are wanting to kind of get involved with sports and what advice would you kind of give them or how would one go about kind of getting involved with this line of work?
I would say if you're thinking about it, definitely. It's wonderful experience. I mean, I've known several people that, with I said, going back to Lee Field, he's had several different graduate assistants that have been there since I've been there, and I think it's a perfect hands-on experience. I mean, you've got a quality product you're working with. But I said, I mean, you can come talk to Lee Field. I know they're always looking for graduate assistants to help out, whether it be, if you want to get into TV, especially. I mean, I will admit, the first time I saw I just assumed you walked in there and it's like a scoreboard you see up in the press box. You just punch runs. I mean, it's a lot more complicated than that. It's not just, watching the game and pushing one button. I mean, it's constantly, and that's one thing I will say this for me, and it's different is, you don't see much of the game. That's the one downside from my aspect, because my head's buried in a computer most of the game looking for stuff. But, if you want to come do that, whether it be a camera person, guest announcer. I mean, I know we don't have guest announcers, but I'm sure there's schools that would do that. I mean, you could get phenomenal hands-on experience. I mean, me personally, I was a football manager during my student years here, and it actually paid for my education. I got money back. So mom and dad like that for sure.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Need to get Jack involved in that program. Hey, Marty, and this will be the last one before we get the quick hitters and we get you out of here, because we've done it again, Pilo. We keep people double time. I don't know. This is how we roll. But Marty, how good is this baseball team?
I think we've seen that so far with their record. I mean, it's probably been a while since and unfortunately I should have looked it up, but I didn't. It's probably been a while since we started as hot as we have with just 2 losses going into conference play. I think this weekend will be a big road test. Arkansas State, I think, from what several people have said, they're kind of looking at this as their Super Bowl. So I know people joke about with us, playing the SEC midweek, it's our Super Bowl, but, I think this weekend would be a good road test. I mean, I know we went out to Texas, played 3 games out there. We went to, took care of business at that. Went to Hammond, took care of business. So I think this weekend should be a good road test to see, because Arkansas State, I know they beat Arkansas earlier this year. I think it was 6-2, and then lost to them 2-1 the next night. So, I mean, it's not the Arkansas State of old that we're playing. So, I think it's going to be 3 great games this weekend, but I think this team has that same caliber pitching, hitting as the 2009 World Series team did.
Love it. Yeah, no, Arkansas State's no joke now. It's kind of weird that we have to take it seriously,
Right.
But it's you have like a sub-3 team ERA, and they've every loss. Hey, here's a stat, Marty, that I did from my prep. It's not Bake and Marty prep, but
Right.
from my prep, they've lost 5 games this year. All 5 losses are by 1 run. So they're kind of like this close to not having a loss. Think about it. So anyway.
Yeah.
Pilo, hit the music. Let's do some quick hitters, and we will get
done.
Marty on his merry way.
All right, here we go.
Here we go, Marty. Play along. It's harmless.
Okay.
Some are good questions, some are goofy. But I will start it off, Pilo. Marty, what is your favorite sport to cover?
Baseball. When I grew up playing baseball my whole life, that's a true love.
Love it.
Best lunch spot in Hattiesburg.
Sadly, I don't do lunch. Where I work, we do working lunches, so we usually bring our lunches. So sadly, I never get out for lunch. But thinking back when I worked at Southern Miss, probably my favorite lunch spot would have been Po' Boy Express.
Oh, that's a very good one. I'm just so far away now. But yeah, it used to be right here.
But yeah.
Hey, how does Jason Baker like his steak cooked?
I'd probably go medium rare.
I think he's that kind of guy.
I think he is a medium rare guy.
Yeah.
What's the yeah? What is the most random stat you've caught yourself tracking, either during a game or the season?
This season, the most random one is the first run of the game. I want to say it's either 8 or 9. I've got the card up in the press box, but it's either 8 or 9 times this season. The first run of the game has came via a home run, and 3 of those was by Urban.
Ooh.
So 8 times. It's either 8 or 9. I can't remember. I've got it written down in the press box, but saw you my note cards up there, so they're there for the next game. But the first run of the game was scored via a home run.
Cool.
Love that.
What's more dangerous for a broadcast? Coffee or barbecue sauce?
I'd probably have to go barbecue sauce because I've seen bacon them with coffee quite a bit lately. So I've never seen a barbecue sauce during a broadcast.
Okay.
More
Over
stressful.
there.
Yeah. More stressful environment to do your job, basketball or baseball?
Basketball, just because it's so fast paced.
Yeah.
And I'll say this. I mean, I kind of thought about this during the week after y'all asked me to come on. I was running through a million things in my mind. Questions, answers, things I may or may not say. But I don't know how many times during basketball, it's a 12-12 game, and I look down to find a stat, and I look up, and it's 20-12, and I'm like, where did those 8 points come from?
Yeah.
I'm guilty of that one in a heartbeat, because Lee Roberts several times is like, even this year I'll use it, Tyleek Weeks. He'll look at me, hey, did Tyleek score the last 8 or 10 points for us? I'm like, has he even scored yet? And
Yeah.
and then I look down, I'm like, well, darn, I guess when I was looking for something else, I missed the last 10 points he scored in a row.
You know what that reminds me of, Pilo? I don't know if you've done this yet, but if you've ever had to operate the game changer on a coach pitch game. Because, dude,
I know what you're talking about, but no.
It is. I mean, like, everything's put in play, like, instantly. And then there's errors on top of that. So having to, like, enter all that in. I did it one game, and I was like, yeah, I'm out.
Well, that's one of the things I do it in the game. We got a guy that does the scoreboard, and he'll ask me, hey, what's the count? Because I have to, with my headset on, I'm talking to the control room, telling them balls and strikes in case they miss one or don't see it. And I'll be like, hey, I don't know what the last pitch was, but whatever the count gets us to 2-1. so then he'll put, all right, so with the ball. Then I'm like, if you say so, I just know that the count's 2-1 right now.
What was the before we get to the next one? We were watching some broadcast this year, and even the play-by-play was just like, there's not somebody on second base. Like, they couldn't take the little graphic off, and it like, there's nobody on base. But and like, the broadcast was just so bad. But anyway, it just makes me think about.
Marty, what's more impressive to you, a triple double or a 40-point game?
Probably a triple double, just because you've got to be in all aspects of the game. You can't just, not picking on Tyleek Weeks, but the night he had 32 second half points. That's one thing to catch fire. But then when you're getting rebounds, steals, that's to go with it. So I would say probably, to me, a triple double is probably more impressive.
Gotcha.
Best press box outside of Pete Taylor Park.
Sadly, I haven't worked. Now, I have worked a couple of games outside of, obviously USM, but because we don't do road games, we just do the home games. Home team does their own games. But I will say I worked a game at Mississippi State versus Arkansas during the COVID year 2020, and their press box for the announcers. I mean, I know it's not Southern Miss, but I'll just have to brag on them. I mean, it's like the Taj Mahal. I mean, it's ours. And just for the point of the story, I mean, just say ours, 20 feet long. I mean, theirs was about 60 feet long and 2 levels. And I'm like, what do you do with all this room?
Yeah.
You need all this room for one.
Yeah.
I would probably say Mississippi State football press box was one of the best ones I went. One of the worst ones, if we can say this, was I worked a game at Mississippi Valley, and it's just one big box. Like, they've got the visiting team coaches in the main press box, so you hear them cussing and screaming the whole game, and you're kind of right there beside them, and you're like, why are they in here? I mean, that's the press box.
I remember St. Louis, I believe, back in the day, the baseball, there was a card table like behind the chain link fence, and John Cox is just sitting there. I'm like,
John said that. I think he said the first day it was raining in about 30 degrees, and I'm not sure if he said he wanted to or he actually did, but he said the second day, again, I can't remember if he did it or wanted to, but broadcast the game from the bus.
wow.
Pull the bus up behind the dugout close enough, and just, like I said, I don't know if he said he did do it from the bus or he was tempted to do it from the bus because the card table and the rain and cold was so bad.
That is outstanding. And this might not come from a trip that you've taken athletically, but people have done both of these things. So what would you rather have, a 6-hour bus ride or a 4-hour layover?
What I'd rather have? I'd probably, and I'm pulling one from Hill Denson here, but got to my first year here as a student in 94. He let me travel with the team. My twin brother was a baseball manager, and he's like, hey, you want to travel with us to Baylor this week? And the other manager couldn't go. And we bused to Baylor and then bused to Memphis and back home. But his big thing was, we're going to bus everywhere because that's part of the college experience is you got to see the countryside, boy. So, and so personally, I'm not saying it's the right answer, but my answer would be a 6-hour bus ride.
Gotcha.
You get to see something different instead of the airport for 4 hours.
Cool. Pilo, last one.
Yep. Yeah, we asked this to everybody, but you can only keep 3 apps on your phone, and they have to be downloaded apps. Everything else has to go. What 3 apps are you keeping?
I got to look at my phone now to see what's even on my phone.
There you go.
What 3 apps? I hate to say it, probably Twitter, X, whatever people call it these days.
Yep.
ESPN, and I guess because it's baseball, softball season, I probably would have to keep the weather app because you always want to know if it's going to be raining or 90 degrees out there. And
Solid.
granted, I'm always inside. It doesn't affect me, but it affects the time I get home to eat dinner.
Ooh. Very good point.
Very
good
important.
point. Well, dude, man, that's it. I mean, thanks so much for joining us tonight, Marty. You killed it. You should come out of your comfort zone more often because you're very good at this side of it too. Tell Bake I got it. You know what? If you don't show up tonight, I got it.
That's right.
But hey, anything else that you'd like to say to the Southern Miss faithful on your way out the door here?
Just I realize baseball season tickets are sold out, but hey, softball's playing, other sports are playing. Mm-hmm. Just because you can't get to a baseball game, don't think that's the only sport. I mean, softball this weekend, Friday, Saturday, Sunday against Louisiana, come out, see the team there. Like y'all mentioned earlier, they're off to a great start. I know they would love the fan support. So, get out and support it no matter what the sport is.
That's a good point. Pilo, we should do that. Now that you're over your sickness.
There we go. Get out to the Blade.
To the Blade. We've got to make Marty. We've got to make this happen. We had Courtney Blades on earlier this year. We asked her. We're like, can we call the new place the Blade? Like whenever we make it. She was like, I'm in.
Well, now she is going to be in town because they're having a reunion weekend. I'm trying to look down at my phone real quick. If y'all want to come out to a game to see her and talk more about that, is
she coming? And she did not.
She is now.
She didn't. Pilo, did she call you? She didn't call me.
Well,
we said let us know if you're going to be in town. She's like, gotcha. Nothing.
Well, I will say this. I will give Blade and then that team, the 2000 softball team, credit. That year I was a manager. I traveled with the team that season. And I've worked with teams from '94 through 2012, and the 2000 softball team is still the only one that I probably connect with on a weekly basis through Facebook Messenger. So they all talk about it and they send happy birthdays, all that good stuff out and check on each other. But they're supposed to be in town April the 10th, 11th, 12th. We're playing Georgia Southern. The Georgia Southern coach that actually was the assistant coach here for the 2000 World Series team, Sharon Perkins. Okay. So they're all planning to be in town that weekend. So great weekend as well to be at softball.
Masters
awesome.
Weekend.
Oh, I knew you were going to say something.
Oh, hello, friends.
That's right.
Man, Marty, that's good.
I might or might not be in Georgia. I don't know.
This segment might be edited. Marty, thanks so much, dude. And on your way out the door, Southern Miss.
To the top.
Thanks, buddy. You can shut her down. Pilo and I will finish it out, and we'll have it out probably tomorrow morning.
Appreciate it, guys. Thank you.
Thanks, Marty.
Right. Mm-hmm.
Wow. Boy.
That was great.
I mean, he's good. He was so worried.
Outstanding.
He's just a pro's pro. Fantastic. Pilo, let's hit a little 30-second, and we'll come back, and we're going to fly through the rest of this. But Marty carried it. That episode is good enough as a standalone. We're going to recap baseball and all that. But let's hit a quick break and come back and finish it out.
We'll see you in 30.
Thanks again to Marty Windham for hopping on with us tonight and for sticking around till tonight from last night when Pilo was down for the count. And I'm glad that we could do that because, the show's a lot better when Pilo is a part of it. So good stuff. Enjoyed it. Let's recap what's happened since the last time we recorded. and we'll shut her down. Baseball is still kicking ass. We're 15-2, right? 0-0 currently in the conference, but that's going to change this weekend.
Yep.
The series versus North Alabama, the Lions, as we found out. Game one, we swept, right? It was a good sweep. It was a sweep that needed to happen. Baseball's weird, ball can bounce funny sometimes. You can lose the ball in the sky. which happened the very 1st pitch. So we won that first game 9-4. It's weird. The ball that Gilly lost and it went for an inside the Parker. That was not an error, so it looks like Colby gave up 3 runs, really only gave up 1 run. But anyway, and then North Alabama lost a couple pop-ups as well. It wasn't the lights. People kept saying it was the lights or the wind. It might have been a little bit of the wind. I don't think it was any lights. It was just a weird colored
just the twilight
sky.
Yep.
The twilight. And the time had just changed, right? Maybe it was kind of weird for everybody.
Yep.
Convincing win, just weird. Russo goes 2 for 3 with 2 runs and RBI. He was hit by a pitch, which he's making a habit of that. USM was hit by 3 pitches, Urban, Bull, and Dre. Morrison had himself a day, 2 for 4, 2 runs, 5 RBIs, a home run, and a triple. He did everything. He did all the hard ones, the home run and the triple. He just needed the double and the single, right? Dre Barrett, 2 for 3. Gilly, he made up for that blunder with a double and a run scored. Pitching-wise, Colby and Cross completed the game. So even with those weird miscues, Colby still went 6 innings, 3 runs, 2 earned, 5 Ks. Sibley finished it off, 3 innings, 3 hits, 1 run, 3 Ks, and a walk. Colby goes to 1-1 on the season. Sibley gets his first save of the season, and then we went on to game number 2. And Pilo, you want to handle that?
Yep. Graydon Harris shoved. He really shined.
It's unbelievable.
Yeah, won the game 6-1. Everything looked good, but Harris kind of dominated the headline. USM in control throughout. Gave up 1 in the 7th, but that was it. Had some fireworks offensively, but not really a ton of hits. Morrison hits another home run, his 5th at the time. At that time, goes 1 for 3 with a solo shot. Urban hit another home run, his 5th. 1 for 4, 2 runs, a solo homer. Just 5 hits on the day. Nobody had more than 1, or nobody had 2. Yeah, no more than 1. Stockton and Seth hit doubles. Russo hit with 2 more pitches. Yeah. It's always somebody.
It's the last dude that I would hit, I think.
Yeah, exactly. The line on Harris: 7 innings, 3 hits, 1 run, 1 walk, 13 Ks.
It's a lot.
Just a masterclass out of him. Ock comes in and finishes it out and goes 2 innings, giving up just 1 hit, no runs, 2 Ks. Gets the save, his 2nd of the season.
Game 3. We shook the lineup up.
Yeah,
remember that? Oz is not afraid. Barry pretty much stuck with the same lineup. I can't really remember what Corky did. I know Barry stuck with the same lineup for a while. It was hard to change it. You could just write that thing in with permanent marker. I think with a Sharpie.
Yeah.
Oz switches it up a little bit, but he really shook it up this game, and I think it worked. It won 9-2, got the sweep, lots of hitting, 13 hits. Right? What'd you say we got the previous game? 5, 6, 5. Whatever it was. So 13 hits this game. Got some guys some work out of the pen, and saw a good outing out of McCurdy English, which, man, he has Friday type stuff. We got 3 guys that start on the weekend who kind of have Friday type stuff, and some guys out of the pen. Bro, we have tons of pitchers. It's gonna be hard to get them all fed, Yeah. But gosh, man.
Well, that's why we're doing what we're doing on midweeks.
That's true. Higdon had a day out of the cleanup spot, so he started off towards the bottom of the lineup. Then he went to lead off. Now he's at cleanup. 3 for 3, 1 run, 1 RBI on a solo job. Gillespie 2 for 4, 3 runs, 3 RBIs, and a walk. He had a double and a homer. Morrison 2 more hits on the weekend, another triple. There's at least 2 of those that I can remember this year. 3 more RBIs. Russo had 1 hit, but 2 more walks. He's starting to lock in, I think, and show some patience up there instead of trying to hit everything 7,000 feet. Right? Let's go back up the middle, kid. Lawson Odom with his first hit of the season. Here we go. He kind of almost got a standing O. For that, and he works hard, man. Good player, so it's good to see him get off the schneid. Caleb Stelly was back in the DH spot. He got 2 hits and an RBI. 1 was a bunt. So we got that. English, 5 innings pitched, 3 hits, 0 runs, a walk, and 5 Ks on 77 pitches. The best part of that stat line right there is the 1 walk, right? because he can get a little erratic. Ever since he had the screw in the elbow and then the screw out of the elbow and all of that, he's just been a little bit erratic. Still electric, but erratic. Littleton, 1 inning, all he does is come in and strike people out with that 95-mile-an-hour fastball that runs in, and then that sweeper that goes the other way. It's the last
filthy.
guy
Filthy.
that I would want to. If we did some kind of like promo where like To the Top Talk guys are going to go out and face a pitcher, if he showed up on the mound, I'd be like, I'm out. I don't, nope. Not going to happen, bro. Not going to happen at all.
Yeah, I would need the you're up by 12 runs, the left fielder's throwing, like that's the
with
pitcher
your
I want.
opposite hand,
Yes.
type of deal. Broadhead looked good. He throws really hard. He threw an inning, a clean inning. Army got hit up a little bit. I still like what I see there. He's got some more velo. Causing an inning. Cam Clark finished it off. That midweek versus Ole Miss was the next one. Pilo, you can take this one. It was fun. It was quick. But it was full of excitement.
No, I mean, like I said, I wasn't there in person under the weather, but man, I thoroughly enjoyed the broadcast and getting to sit and watch every pitch. And I texted Baker after and really thanked them for what they do and how good it was. But 2-1 victory, courtesy of some brilliant pitching, really on both sides. I mean, Ole Miss has got some dudes that really threw the ball well.
That first guy.
That freshman too, they brought in. Good gracious. I mean,
He won't be a midweek guy for long.
No.
I'm not sure he'll be a college pitcher for long.
No, like 98. I mean, he was pumping it. The hero of the game, obviously, like we said earlier, was Tucker Stockman. Quick game. Both sides played really well. Both sides pitched really well. Both sides hit homers, and the Eagles just did a little bit more. 3 scoring hits. Let's see. Becerra homered for Ole Miss, his 8th home run of the season. In the 5th inning, Kyle Morrison ties it up 1-1 with a solo shot. Have you watched that on camera? Just an absolute gorgeous swing. I think I rewound it about 12 times and watched that home run. So he ties it up 1-1 with a solo shot in the bottom of the 5th. Stockton comes clutch with the walk-off line drive to right center field, scoring tons. Ole Miss had 3 hits, USM 6 hits, Jerb 1 for 4, Gilly 1 for 4, Seth Smith 1 for 2, Stockton 2 for 4. Pitching, like we said, 2 of Ole Miss's 3 hits were just bloopers, just out of reach. Crabtree started, looked great. 3 innings, no runs, no walks, 2 Ks. Sonny comes in, goes 3 innings, gives up 2 hits and 1 run, 2 Ks. Littleton worked a perfect 7th with 2 strikeouts. Ott comes in for an inning and a third with 2 Ks, and Camden Clark goes 3-0. 2/3 inning pitched, 1
3-0 on the season.
Yeah, 3-0 on the season.
Yep.
And he throws 2/3 of an inning and gets a strikeout to finish it off in style. It should be noted that like we said, the Ole Miss starter looked really good too. He goes 2 2/3, no hits, throwing gas, and I doubt that he'll be in that role very long.
At one point, he went he threw 4 pitches, and it was 96, 97, 98, or maybe like 95, 96, 97, 98. I was like, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah,
just
absolutely.
command. It's just amazing to me that 18-year-old kids come in and just our pitching staff's full of them.
You're right.
Littleton and Farr and all these Causey and these guys that are just thrown in there, and they just look like they've been doing it. I don't remember. Maybe it's the growth of the game and travel ball, and that these kids have been tested, and I don't know, but I don't remember freshmen looking like that. Usually you would get hammered and then you would start learning, and then you would eventually, start to get some command. But, hats off to our coaching staff and looking for the right guys and developing these guys. 'Cause man, they're thrown out there in big moments. 6,000 people and strikeouts, filling up the zone.
Yeah. The moment is not too big.
No,
At all. And it's
impressive.
Yeah, it is. Up next for the Golden Eagles, Arkansas State up in Jonesboro, BYOB, right? So, but to preview, this team. So, and our good friend Kara Ritchie, who's been on the show with us, that works in Jonesboro and follows or covers Arkansas State on the radio there. I listened to her interview with Mike Silva. Man, sharp dude. I don't know if you got to listen to that, Pilo, but this is his third year with the Red Wolves. No longer the Indians, Red Wolves. They are 13-5. They won 2 in a row. So here's what, and we talked about it earlier. They have 5 losses on the year, all by 1 run. But so they lost to Ole Miss 7-6 on February 17th. I'm trying to lay the groundwork of this is not this is not what Arkansas State has been through they're better
Right.
this year, right? Southern Miss, one of the best teams in the country, but this is
Silva's
not
had success
pushover.
wherever he's been. I mean,
He was at Nichols, right?
Yeah.
And he handled our ass there too. So let's. So I'm just trying to just let everybody know this is not little sisters of the poor that we're going to play. They beat number 6 Arkansas 12-4. Didn't just squeak that one out, right? And that was game 1 of a 2-game set. They lost that next game 1-0. Okay.
Yeah.
Everybody, we all know Arkansas is pretty good.
I think that was their first win over Arkansas in their school history too.
Right. They beat Jack in a 2-game set, and so did they just beat them? They beat them bad. Well, they won 10-2 and 8-2. Okay. We all think. I mean, well, we swept Jack, but we believe that that's a good program, right?
Yeah.
They lost 2 games to Oral Roberts. Not great. Both of those losses by 1 run. Then they won the 3rd game 7-0. 13 wins, 5 losses. Every one of those 1 losses. They're just inches away, really, from being undefeated. Players to watch on the team: Ashton Quiller. He's hitting .347 on the season. Lane Walton, .316, 10 bombs.
Jeez.
I mean, already. That's a lot of homers, bro.
Short
Team
porch.
ERA of 2.73.
Yeah. That's
like
Sounds
that's
familiar.
like the Atlanta Braves with Maddox and Glavine, Smoltz,
yeah.
right? Tyler Weimer, he's 2-0. He has 7 appearances at 1.17 ERA. Jack Nelson has a 2.49 ERA in 21 innings. Everybody's got a good ERA. You go all the way down the list, you're like, that guy's got a good one, that guy's got a good one, because their team ERA is great. They have 8 guys with at least 1 save. So they got. I mean, it's just. I'm not gonna say like our work's cut out, but it's if you don't take it, if you take it lightly at all, I think you'll get beat, and that's the point.
And I joked earlier and said short porch, but I just looked up their dimensions for their stadium and 335 down the left and right, and 370 in the power alleys, and 400 straight away. So it's not like they're playing in a Jack stadium. Mm-hmm. 10 bombs is impressive.
Hey, for people that are headed that way, Pilo, I'll give you some time here to start looking up the weather. But for people that are headed towards Jonesboro this weekend,
Yeah.
what was that, about a 6-hour drive, something like that? Is it further? I don't know.
Let's see.
But
Find that out,
but
too.
for those that are making the trip to Jonesboro, what's the weather looking like? Here last night we had a hurricane come through. It felt like, and that's 30 degrees today, and wind blowing like crazy still. But what about this weekend for Arkansas?
Yeah, it's actually going to be pretty nice. So looking at high on Thursday, or I guess on Friday, high 68, low 43, high 72, low 44, and high 75, low 46. So that's Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Pretty decent weather. I would imagine might be a little wind. Looks like there will be some wind. Looks like there may be a chance of some rain on Sunday. So I'm not sure what that looks like as far as our travel plans and all that. So to play that out. But yeah, I mean, it's nothing too crazy. Kind of spring like.
Sure.
Jonesboro, Arkansas from Hattiesburg.
Over under 6 hours before you look it up. I'm going over.
Yeah, over, but just over, I think. Let's see. Oh. Well, depending on where you go and if you like to speed, it's 5 hours and 37 minutes, going 55 up through Memphis. So really, it's not too far once you get past Memphis. It's 366 miles from Hattiesburg. So,
Under.
A little under. If you'll get a stop in there. You're talking 6.5.
Yeah. Gotcha. Okay, hit us with some player of the week segment music.
Oh yeah, here we go.
I'm still kind of undecided which way I'm going.
Well, I'm going
but
first this week.
Player of the week segment. This is the To the Top Talk Players of the Week segment brought to you by Bourbon On Front. Located at 206 Front Street in downtown Hattiesburg, steaks, seafood, cocktails, and the only rooftop patio in downtown. Open every day but Monday. Call 601-336-7097 for reservations, private events, and catering, or you can visit them on the web at bourbon-on-front.com. Bourbon On Front. Go and see them today.
Yeah, and they tweeted out, or they posted, maybe on their Instagram actually, a new St. Patrick's Day cocktail specials. So, 4 drinks, and a special bread pudding that's happening too. So starts tomorrow.
Wow.
Irish Maid, Emerald Sunrise, Shamrock Sour, and Lucky Clover Spritz. So 4 cocktail specials.
I need a flight of that.
Yeah. They look pretty awesome. Go check out their Instagram, Bourbon On Front on Instagram. And you can see the pictures and that pretty awesome looking bread pudding. So
Who goes first this week?
it's me.
Okay.
It is me. I am.
Who's leading so far?
So yeah, let's do
Probably
the,
Jerb.
Yeah, Jerb is he is the only one that right now that has 2 votes. So Joey Urban has 2, Camden Clark 1, Seth Smith 1, Davis Gillespie 1, and Ben Higdon 1. So
Only one pitcher.
Only one pitcher. And
Pitcher, unfortunately, have that one shot, unless you're Clark. Like that but we had like 2 wins and 2 saves, right?
yeah. Oh man, now you're making me second guess.
We had a pitcher who had like kind of a historic day.
Oh man.
It's tough.
It is tough.
tough
I
to
thought
pick 'em
it
sometimes.
was like locked up. I'm just gonna go with my gut and trust that you'll do the right thing. I mean, I got to go Kyle Morrison. I mean, like, what a dude. I mean, I hated the guy last year. Not really. I didn't even really know him, but he played for he played for South, so like,
Yeah.
I didn't like him. But man,
I mean, he is
dude,
easy going, and he can smash.
he can just absolutely hammer a baseball. Yeah, I mean, like I think what I usually do is kind of look at some of these cumulative kind of team leader stats, and like it's pretty evident offensively right now. It is a battle for the top spot in just about all these categories between Jerb and Camo. So he's leading in slugging percentage now, leading in home runs. He's 1 off total bases from Urban. He's also tied for the lead with Russo on hit by pitch. So he's also been hit. So yeah, I mean, just what an incredible week he's had. And man, just big moments. Like, I mean, Ole Miss hits the home run. We get down 1-0, and what happens? He gets up there and smokes a bomb and gets us right back in it, keeps the crowd in the game. And so shout out to Camo.
I'm having trouble too. I mean, all of those things is just I'm going through the same thought process in my head, and I have notes written down here because I knew it was happening.
Is it not more impressive that we have only had 1 repeat so far? Like, I think it says a lot about this team.
I mean, like you said, you can go with Graydon Harris. That outstanding day versus North Alabama. You could go with Gilly or Higgy, really. They're both ripping it, making plays. But you know what? Gillespie, even though he lost the ball in the sky, lost it, then he kind of fell over, and then there was an inside the Parker. He made up for it at the bat later, right? But, I mean, I think that without that play, I think he's pretty much up there for the week. I I'm getting really used to seeing Higgy run out there, and I think he's kind of endearing himself to all the fans. He's becoming a fan favorite, just like Peto was.
Yep, it's about that right field, man.
And he's just blistering that he's killing the ball. He's been killing the ball the entire season. He had a lot of atom balls that he didn't get any weren't hits, right? But
yeah,
I mean, you could go with Stock, right? I mean, he's been hitting the ball. He's coming on as of late. He's been clutch. Nothing more clutch than that final hit versus Ole Miss. I'm going to go with KMO too. I'm going to go with Morrison.
all right.
I'm going to go with Morrison. 5 hits versus North Alabama. Okay. He had another triple we talked about earlier, like the triples, the home runs.
Yeah.
But yeah, that solo shot to tie it versus Ole Miss. Like Ole Miss hit the solo shot. We're like, all right, well, we're down. Their pitcher's just throwing lights out. So is ours, but we're down. Then as soon as we came up, maybe the first batter, I don't remember. It was really quick right after that. He hit 1-2, and there we were. That just that's
just
probably
a
very big reason that we won that game. And he is, man, I wish he'd have been here all 4 years. He's one of those dudes that could have set all kind of damn records. But I'm glad we got him now. So yeah, there hadn't been. You said there hadn't been any doubled up yet, but there is because
Joey Urban. So now they are both at 2.
Oh, so Kyle Morrison came from nothing to tie Jared.
Nothing to tie. Yep. Here we are.
Good one. You know what? Yeah,
he deserves it.
I think he does. I think he does. Not that Graydon. I mean, they all do.
They do.
I bet Graydon's sitting there like, damn, the hell do I got to do?
I know, man. You really.
But he also got plenty. He also got plenty of awards come his way for that performance. We'll talk about those as the show goes on. But that was it. The To the Top Talk Player of the Week, brought to you by our good friends over at Bourbon on Front. Next time you're downtown, make sure you go and check them out. Right. And that's just one of Nelson's places. I went to one of Nelson's places tonight. Jack and I went down to Nellie's. And had a chicken basket there, so very good stuff. Okay, Pilo, the baseball rankings are out. We're still climbing the charts a little bit. Not quite positive why we hadn't caught Mississippi State yet. I think we have a better record, beat them, and have a harder strength of schedule. We're still ranked below Mississippi State. That being said, I'm very happy with where we are. Can you update us on where all the rankings are?
Yep. D1 baseball and the NCAA has us at number 7 now, which is up from 10. On 3, we are at.
Yep, looks like I forgot to update that one.
I'm going to go with number 7.
Okay.
We're going to throw that out there. Our good friend of the show, Rob's rankings has us sitting at number 2. The 11.7 mid-major rankings, quote unquote, has us at number 1, as we should be. Baseball America, we moved up in their rankings from 12 to 10. Perfect Game has us at number 6, up from 8. The NCBWA has us at number 7, which is up from 11. USA Today's Coaches Poll has us at number 7, up from 11, and currently sitting number 1 in the RPI.
So consensus top 10.
Yeah. Kendall, we going to host?
Yeah, Kendall, what's up? Open invite, come on the show. Even though we emailed y'all like 3 times before throughout the years, never responded.
We just got to get Mark on. Mark loves us.
Yeah, apparently he's from right down the road, Mobile.
Yeah.
He's been making a lot of the games.
He's got to bring some through Sackleys.
Softball time. So softball sitting at 8 and 10. We talked about it a little bit with Marty earlier. They've been doing really good. They did lose last night. I watched that game on TV. But looked good down in Jacksonville, Florida at the Jacksonville Spring Break Challenge. This is coming off of a tournament victory that we had at the Hub City Classic last week. We did lose at Southeastern, but we in that tournament in Jacksonville, we beat Brown 1-0. Madeline Graham goes the distance and throws a shutout. We lost 3-2 to North Florida, but then we beat Brown badly the next time, 18-2. Had a 10-run second. That must have been fun.
Wow.
Hannah Christian goes 4 for 4, 4 runs, 5 RBIs, and a homer. Man, stuff like that. We might need to start including softball in that Player of the Week thing.
Yeah,
Ooh.
that's impressive. Yeah.
You know what? 4 for 4, 4 runs, 5 RBIs, and a homer. Goodness. We beat Jacksonville 7-5. Christian got 2 more hits. Bennett hit a homer. And then we beat the Presbyterian Blue Hose 11-6. I thought the same thing. I thought the same thing. But I looked it up. So I looked it up. The Presbyterian College Blue Hose, HOSE,
You better spell that.
are the athletic teams representing Presbyterian College in Clinton, South Carolina, competing in NCAA Division I, primarily the Big South Conference, originating from the early 1900s. Sports writers calling them Blue Stockings for their blue socks. The nickname was shortened to Blue Hose in the 1950s to sound fiercer.
I need to go back to stockings. Wow.
15 hits for the Lady Eagles on the day. Christian, again, goes 3 for 4. Man, can I change mine to the kind of Christian? Holy smokes. Then Kerry Green, right there. Kerry Green also goes 5 for 5, 3 runs and 4 RBIs off the hose. Then we lost after that to Southeastern Louisiana. It was 11-3 defeat. Southeastern moves to 19-9, and they're good, man.
Oh, man.
I went back and looked at their record. So they went to extra innings with number 13 Clemson, and ended up losing that game. But that tells you they're pretty good. They beat Boston College by a run rule. I don't know what Boston College is softball wise, but you like to think that's a bigger school. They beat number 5 Oregon this season, and then they lost 7-2 to number 3 Texas. Point being, we lost 11-3. We had a wonderful run. We just got back from Florida, and they ain't bad. Okay.
Yeah.
But USM's Hannah Christian did have 2 more hits, and so that is for this good.
If we were a podcast for the Presbyterian College Blue Hose, we would have a T-shirt that says "Bros before Blue Hose."
Did you look it up? I'm not wrong about it.
I believe
incredible.
you, but wow. I mean, that's such a T-shirt. Yeah, Presbyterian Blue Hose football.
Yeah.
Wow.
I don't.
Bros before the Blue Hose.
Up next for the Lady Eagles,
What a segment.
the Raging Cajuns come to Hattiesburg for a 3-game set this weekend, like Marty talked about. Get out there, man. They had a cool deck in left field. 4th Street Bars right around the corner. Go check it out.
Yeah.
Basketball, we mentioned that both men's and women's teams came to an end at the Sun Belt Conference Tournament. The men, we have to talk about them just a little bit because it was just such a magical run, man. I was this damn close to driving over to Pensacola. But you had to, with the way the thing was set up, we were going to have to win, 5 games in 5 days?
Yeah.
To go to punch our ticket to the dance.
Yep.
We made it to day 4. Okay, and didn't lose by that much, but ended up the season 19-16, best record in the state of Mississippi for any college. We got the 8 seed, got a double bye, went on a crazy run, and we ended up falling to number 1 seed Troy, 78-70. Bully freaking Weeks, right? Went off. So in the 4 games we played, he goes 31, 32, 28, and 15 in 4 consecutive days. Okay. And he doesn't just light it up from 3-point range. This guy, when he gets points, they are banging and getting to the foul line. And he hardly comes out of the game. He plays the whole damn time.
Yeah.
So just a lot of heart shown by Weeks, and hope he comes back. Hope him and Tavares are right there, man. We have a nucleus ready to come back and run it back again. Probably going to need some help keeping them here financially, but we'll see what we can do. Tavares gave it all he could with 32 points of his own versus Troy. Benet 14-7. He's going to make a ton of money playing basketball. But the Eagles had a 2 for 19 day from 3-point range. Izzy shot a lot of them. We like Izzy taking them. He was open. He just missed them, right? Probably because he's tired as hell from being his 4th consecutive night to play basketball.
Yeah.
But anyway, still only lost by 8, right? You go 2 for 19 from 3-point range. You make a couple of those go in, and you're sitting there with a shot to win it at the end.
Yeah.
So here's who's leading. So they're all mixed up here. But so Izzy is gone next year. Lewis is gone, 3-point specialist. Tramble's back, boy, did that guy make a lot of it's impressive moves during the season. Weeks is back. Diagne gone. Dalen Brandon gone. Tavares is back. Payman. We didn't see a lot of him this year, but we did, man. He's a big body, and he's a problem once he puts some stuff together. He's back. Patino is back. Caruth is back. Jet Montgomery is back. Brummy's gone. Benet's gone. Izuma, he played in the beginning of the season. He was one of my favorite players. But he's back. And then Tegra Ize. If there's ever been a poster child for sticking with a program and developing, that's the guy.
Yeah.
Okay. And all those guys that I just read off, man, if we can just talk about just the staff and the job that they did, they got these guys who none of them played together, right? And the team at the end of the year was a hell of a lot better than the team at the beginning of the year. And I believe that speaks to our coaching staff. Having these guys gel together and come out and they won 19 games. Okay. And your best player, arguably, was out for 2 months. So kudos to the basketball team, I guess is what I want to say. We all want to go to the dance or the NIT. I mean, I think people just poo-poo the NIT. I'd like to do it, but we're staring at the dance, man, right? Right on the cusp of making it. And we got a shot to bring some of those guys back next year. So hopefully we can do that. But Pilo, what are your thoughts on how the season went down?
Yeah, I mean, I was in the camp early on, and had went to some practices and went to some scrimmages and liked what I saw, and I knew that we were going to be tough. I knew that we were. Took me about 45 seconds at the first practice to identify Benet and like holy crap, who is that? And knew that he was going to be a factor this year, and your guy who averages 18 points goes down for the chunk of the season, and it's just a gut punch. And then you're playing the game of what could have been, but and then we really just didn't know. He kind of eased back in, and we started winning a little bit more games, and then we beat the two best teams in the league late in the season, and then we get to Pensacola and go on a run, and all of a sudden people are right back in. It just shows our fan base. You win a few games in a row and beat some good teams, and people will get back on board. But
tell you what, I feel a lot better about us winning 19 with everybody hating on our entire coaching staff and people saying that nobody goes to the games and blah, 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 blah. We did all that with hardly any money whatsoever. Mississippi State and Ole Miss paid out the ass for talent. Memphis has paid out that, right? I mean, they ain't winning nothing. Okay, so it's tough to want a whole lot more, isn't it?
Yeah.
I mean, I realize Sunbelt's not the ACC. I mean, I get that, but we ain't Duke either.
Yeah. No, I mean, hats off to Coach Ladner and the staff, man. I mean, and we've said it before, it's not easy. Like that job is not an easy job. It's for a multitude of reasons. It's not an easy job, and then unfortunately, you're still playing your season when the biggest sport at the school starts kicking off, and nobody wants to pay attention to you, and that's working against you among a multitude of other things, but. They hung in there. They had some fight, and man, the energy and the kind of camaraderie that kind of grew in Pensacola with this team. Man, like you said, I hope some of those guys stick around. I hope we can build on it, get some more guys in here, and see what we can do next year.
Yeah, man. Hope there's more people sitting next to me in Section G. It's a fun thing, man. So anyway, but yeah, I mean, hey. Let's give it up for the effort, if nothing else. If we can't agree on anything else, let's just give it up for the effort that was put forth in that tournament. Whether it be player-led, coach-led, whatever. Who cares, man? We're all Golden Eagles, right? It was fun. They put it all out there. It was neat. Way to go. We would like to thank our title sponsor again before we shut this thing down. And remind you that Yingling Flight is available in 12-ounce slim cans and 16-ounce screw tops at most retailers. You can go ahead and pick yourself up some Yingling Flight today. It's very good. I like it. And I drink so much of it during baseball season, as it turns out. Cloverleaf Mall tweet of the week. Brought to you by Katie Bailey with Dunbar Real Estate. Any house, anywhere, anytime. Call today, 601-408-9980. And we decided to go pretty generic this time, but I just love the shirt. I love it. And so this tweet of the week is brought to you by Campus Book Mart, and they have the Parrot Head shirts back. The tweet reads, the blue parrot makes its return to Hattiesburg. This year we have lots of Parrot Head merchandise available. Celebrate Jimmy Buffett with a little something extra this baseball season. And they got a picture. It's an old school shirt. That's the reason that I like it. It reminds me of when I was in college and there's like a hand-drawn shirt, like a lot of them, you know?
Oh, yeah.
And that's what this looks like. And then it's got the blue parrot on the front, but it has the I don't know. Can you explain what that back looks like, Pilo?
Yeah, it just looks like a kind of behind home plate kind of view of a baseball field, but it's kind of it has the kind of tropical flowers and the parrot head on the back, and then kind of big block letters.
Can you throw that up there? Can we do that?
Yeah, I think we can do that. Let's see. Let me see. Give me a minute.
Because it's not only they have the shirt there, but it's also, it looks like the slim can koozie, the regular size
that
koozie.
car tag is sweet.
It's a car tag, okay. And then stickers, I believe. That sticker would look good on the golf cart.
It would. And those I don't know if those are like metal. You know, some of those are like magnets that are like metal.
Okay.
Maybe one of those. Let's see. And there we go.
Whoa, look at you. On the fly. Eat your heart out, Marty. But
Yeah,
doesn't
how
that
good
look
does
good?
that look? Yeah, it's great.
It's I mean,
that's a great description. I think that is very that's kind of a retro kind of style T-shirt that you would see, you know, in college,
like a fraternity shirt from back in like a party.
They
shirt.
were making those when I was in school still here,
or like way back in the day, like a conference, like a Conference USA conference tournament.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's I don't know. I love it. I'm gonna go get one. It's you know. Anybody who puts anything out like that, you know, we're always going to support it. So that's something that will be on me before long. When's the Parrot Head game? That's got to be coming up pretty soon. I guess they got the Parrot Head
I think
stuff
it usually is in March.
Okay. Well, anyway, so that was the Cloverleaf Mall tweet of the week, brought to you by Katie Bailey with Dunbar Real Estate. Any house, anywhere, anytime. Call today, 601-408-9980, and head by Campus Book Mart and buy you one of those. I need to go by there anyway. You know, I hadn't been by in a little while. I've got my hat, but that shirt right there, it's going to be hard to pass up. So we have some new merchandise out as well. The dinosaur shirt, I wore it on last week's episode. That's really cool. My son, I had to order one for him. I saw another kid running around with one on. It's neat. We have a lot of cool stuff that's out there right now, and Pilo's already got something up his sleeve that's coming next. But if you want to go buy one of the Dadgum shirts or the dinosaur shirt or the Pete renderings that Pilo put out a year or two ago, they're fantastic. Not only shirts, there's coffee mugs, fanny packs, shirts, hoodies, all of that is available at bonfire.com/store/to-the-top-talk. And you can find those links in all of our bios on social. Also like to remind everybody, as always, that there's different ways that you can support the team. You can be a part of the collective, right? And you can join for as little as $17 per month and enjoy benefits like tailgate passes, member-only events, player meet and greets, open practices, and lots of other stuff, and some really cool merchandise that they have, right? They put out a lot of cool merchandise as well. And that's a very big deal for why our baseball team is going to continue to be good, is because you give in some way, shape, or form, whether it be the collective, the dugout club, anything. Dugout club, you can still get involved with that. Single gets you is $125, and it gets you a hat or a visor. Then it goes through a double, triple, home run, grand slam. And if you want to give more than $1,000, give more than $1,000, right? Rick will take it, I think.
Yep.
And he'll go get us a good pitcher or something. That's how I think that's how it works. So And that's it, man. I think. Well, you know what? There's a few more sports news that I wanted to hit on. What are you doing over there? Looks like you have something going on.
Yeah, I was gonna show one thing I kind of stumbled on while I was digging around in this episode, but since we are sharing screen and doing that stuff, I'm gonna do it.
Mm-hmm.
So this is obviously the Southern Miss website. If you go to it, but scroll down. If you get down here, like look at this. This is great. This is the pictures from the Ole Miss game.
Ooh,
But
very
like,
good.
pretty sure this is Joe Harper as somebody who used to shoot. I think he is still down there shooting. But like, I mean, outstanding. I mean, got the celebration there with the
Very,
walk-off.
very nice.
And then this is kind of that half. Look at this. Look at this one. Like, watch
Oh,
this.
okay. Yeah.
Yeah, Joe Harper. There we go. Shout out Joe Harper. Still killing it. I mean, he's like on the lift in center field.
Yeah. Down in front, Joe.
Yeah, like how cool of a shot is that?
That's very. I'm glad you pointed this out.
Yeah. So
I
like
haven't done this.
after big games, you can just like go to the website and then like look at this. Like this is, open like they're in the national anthem. How cool! Just
Very cool.
awesome. Check it out.
Yes, thank you for pointing that out. In other sports news, well, in Sunbelt Conference baseball news, the Cajuns beat LSU. That's cool, right?
Yeah. Everybody's beating LSU.
We mentioned, or I can't think they are, and they dropped all the way to number 13.
Yeah, it's that patch they have sewn on their jerseys.
Arkansas State, we mentioned that. They beat Jack
Take a shot.
10-2 and 8-2. Marshall beat Virginia Tech 13-4. Marshall's for real, bro.
Yeah.
So Graydon Harris, we talked about him earlier. Pilo and I both just passed right over him, even though it was one of the most dominant performances in Southern Miss history. But Graydon Harris was named the Sun Belt Conference Pitcher of the Week after his performance versus North Alabama. He was also named to the Baseball America National Team of the Week and won the National Pitcher of the Week from the NCBWA.
Yeah, but he didn't win to the top.
Yeah, he didn't. I mean, like you can't win them all, kid. Right?
I mean, if you got to 15 strikeouts, maybe.
Yeah, really. 13. Jeez.
Gosh.
Colby Allen was named to the College Diamonds National Pitcher of the Year watch list. And we haven't talked about Colby Allen a whole lot. I think because of people like Graydon Harris, right? That just keep just doing dominant stuff. But so far this year, Colby's 1-1 with a 2.61 ERA. That's pretty good, including that weird ball at Gillespie. Let's see. In Sunbelt Conference basketball, Tyleek Weeks was named to the Sunbelt Conference All-Tournament team. He averaged 26.5 points during the 4 consecutive day run.
Yep.
26.5, man. It's a lot. Football news. Former Golden Eagle Tracy Lampley, who's been on the show a few times, he's been named the head football coach at Wayne County, right?
Yeah, congrats.
Give it up for Tracy, man.
Back home.
He's a good dude. He's 100% the reason that we got to interview.
Jamie Collins.
Jamie Collins. Yeah, he got us that interview with Jamie Collins, which is still that's a great interview. If you want to go back, when you go and subscribe to the Top Talk, just go back a little bit and find that interview that we did with Jamie. I think he was like on his back porch down in Florida after a celebrity golf tournament, I think.
Yep.
And he was feeling it.
It was great.
It was great. It was so fun. But congratulations to Tracy. He's been offensive coordinator down at Ocean Springs High School for a few years now and put in the work, and now he's back at his alma mater, running the show. Beach volleyball. Pilo, you want to update us on what happened out in Arizona?
Yeah, their record currently sitting at 3-9. Ladies were out in Arizona for that Sun Devil Classic. They beat Stephen F. Austin 3-2, lost to Nebraska 3-2, lost to number 19 Arizona 3-2, and then lost to Arizona State 5-0. But man, close.
Yeah,
Close right there with some really good teams. Up next for beach volleyball is the Stetson Spring Invitational. tomorrow versus UAB and Stetson, and the 14th versus Texas A&M, Corpus Christi, Florida Gulf Coast, and North Alabama. And then they're back home for the spring break slam hosted by Southern Miss, and March 20th through the 21st.
Very good. Tomorrow's Friday the 13th. I just figured that out.
We've had that a couple times
I think so.
This year already. I feel like
It's a glitch in the matrix.
it is.
Tennis did okay this week. They tennis Southern Miss men's tennis 5-5 fell to number 6 LSU 17-2, or they're 17-2 on the season. At the LSU tennis complex. So Sahib Sodi, something like that. Anyway, he's good at tennis. Mm-hmm. He recorded the Golden Eagles' lone point with a 3-set victory. He delivered the team's point with a hard-fought win over Ponce de Leon.
Hey,
back from the pirate ship,
back from the dead.
He took the opening set. Sodai took the opening set in a tiebreak 7-6, 7-3. Dropped the second set 6-3. Responded with a 6-3 third set and to win the match. So, or to close out the match there. So, very good for him. And that is it, Pilo. I have a few shout outs that I would like to do. And if you're ready, you can go ahead. Or if you want me to go, I can do it.
Yeah, I have a couple. I wanted to give a shout out to Drunkle, for coming on the show. The live we had, he and Jeff were great, and they made it very entertaining. He apologized like 12 times for going on and on. And I was like, dude, no, you made the show. But he cooked his infamous pastelaya, and I think the best part was at the end. That game I was up. My other shout out is to a good friend of mine, Tyler Reed. We go to church together at Temple, and he works for First Bank, and invited me up in the booth for that game to watch Graydon Harris's gem of a game. So I got to sit up there and watch that with him, and then after that I had walked out there to the Roost to enjoy some of that pastelaya in the post game, because I knew that they were going to cook for a lot of the players, and so I went out there and immediately he threw me on the pot to cook, because they had to go take some to the coaching staff. And so I'm just standing there stirring, and so guys are coming out of the locker room, and my favorite moment was when Bruce Littleton walks up to me and says, "Are you Russo's uncle?" I was like, "I'm not Drunkle." I said, "He's the one in the chicken suit." And he was like, "Oh, okay."
He was.
He was in the chicken suit. And so...
Do you think he drove up in the chicken suit? Or did he put that on in the parking lot?
He put it on in the Roost.
I would like to think he was like windows down.
Yeah, just sweat factory. Yeah. But yeah, I was like, Bruce, I don't know whether to be mad or laugh, but no, that was a funny moment. But it was cool to hang out with a lot of those guys after the game. So shout out to them. Shout out to, again, Tyler Reed for the invitation up in the booth. And shout out to the Players Championship happening this week. I don't know. I mean, as a golf, we're already off the rails with late, so I'm going to talk about golf for a second. But, man, shaking up already. It was just round one today, but that's a tournament I got to get to. Got to go to Sawgrass sometime. And
yeah. You can play. It's public.
Yeah.
You can play it
like
for
$500. Yeah. I mean, it would be worth it. It would be worth it. Like to me, they keep that course so pure as far as like the way they stripe it. So when you watch it on TV, everything looks fake. Kind of like the Masters, but Augusta keeps everything kind of like, they don't stripe it. They kind of stripe the fairways and everything. But anyway, that's happening this weekend. I'm pretty excited about that. So great tournament. So check that out if you enjoy golf.
Will do. I have a few, but it was a very big weekend. Anyway, so shout out to Scotty Castle. He came out and said hello out in the roost before the game. I just walked there, and I've met Scotty a handful of times, but I've always seen him in a hat and the darker glasses that he has on. He didn't have either of those things. So he was like, he said my name. I was like, hey. And I was like, well, what? Wait, remind me again? I felt kind of bad, but I was like, oh, gotcha. But for a second there, I didn't recognize him. But he came all the way out there to say hello. So thank you, and do it more often. Bacon Clay, shout out to them up in the booth. We dropped in on them Saturday with some food. Hope they enjoyed it. My buddy Paxton and his son Brooklyn were there. They were first timers at the Pete this weekend from Brookhaven.
Nice.
They're big LSU fans, right? But we came over and stayed with us for a night. Came to a game. They were impressed, and they got that. They went up there with me to the booth to hand the food to Bacon them. So
Yeah.
so they got to be in the roost, and anyway, and meet Marty, right? So shout out to Paxton and Brooklyn. Jake Winston and his son were wandering around the suites and right at the same exact time there, and we got to catch up with them for a minute. I did not call him a left-handed pitcher. If you remember, that's what I did in the intro. Like everything was right. He was like, "That was a great intro, but I'm not a left-handed pitcher." I was like,
Dang it.
"Well, you didn't let me finish." I bet he could pitch left-handed, but he's a right-handed pitcher. No, I didn't say that. Anyway, that's a blunder. There's probably been some this episode. Who knows? Shout out to the Apians, Paul, Leah, Cam.
Yeah,
Wade.
I got to see them walking out.
They
That was
made the trip
awesome.
down from Chattanooga, stayed the weekend. They couldn't make the Sunday game. They were gonna make it and then ride back, but it got pushed to like 4, and they were like, "Bro, that's 6-hour drive after 3-hour baseball game. It's tough." So,
Yeah.
but they made it Friday and Saturday. Took them down to the Lucky Rabbit. First time they
Yeah.
had been there. I feel
I
like
bet they
enjoyed
love
it.
that.
Yeah, I feel like they enjoyed it. And lastly, Steve Farmer and his wife Tabby were in town.
Yeah.
They stayed the weekend over at the Indigo, celebrating Steve's birthday. We had a little party for him and a nice banner that Sarah Catherine made up for him. We set up as a surprise, so hope that he enjoyed that. So it's just a great weekend, man. It's a good time to be a Golden Eagle, and I'm having a blast. Let's hope that we keep it rolling this weekend up in Jonesboro.
Yep.
That is it. We have made it through just under an hour 45, right?
Yeah.
Simple, quick. This episode was brought to you by the premium light beer Yingling Flight, established in 2020 by the oldest brewery in America. Crisp, clean, refreshing taste, 95 calories, only 2.6 grams of carbs. Pick yourself up some Yingling Flight today. Thank you for listening in. Whatever day you might have listened, whichever platform you chose to listen in on. Remember, you can follow me at Bumper J. Bailey and Patrick at P. Lowry. Follow us on all the social at To The Top Talk, and don't forget about the mailbag, to the top talk at gmail.com. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Tell somebody to the top today. And as always, Southern Miss,
To the top.
talk.
Why you mad?
I could play for Alabama, USC, or Notre Dame. You have lots of things to offer, but Southern Mississippi puts you all to shame. I was born here in Hattiesburg, never ventured far away. When it comes to playing football, here in Eagle Heaven is where I'm gonna stay. I could play for North Carolina, Ohio State, or LSU. You play a good game of football, but Southern Mississippi is a whole lot better than you. When the football season is over and done, the fans here in Hattiesburg will be proud of what we've done. I could play for the Georgia Bulldogs, Florida State, or Tennessee, but I chose Southern Mississippi. And right here at home is where I'll always be. I could play for Alabama, USC, or Notre Dame. You have lots of things to offer, but Southern Mississippi put you all to shame. I could play for North Carolina, Ohio State, or LSU. You play a good game of football, but Southern Mississippi is a whole lot better than you. When the football season is over and done, all your teams with famous names will see we're number one. Ask Mississippi State. Ask Mississippi State.